Hey, that guy flashed with a 25 gift bomb. My dude. Thank you so much, buddy. New mission, a dark place. What's this? Investigate the sector elevator? Okay. Where do we do this? Executive, Central Executive. That's where I am, right? What's this? Astral Constructs. No new weapon forms available. Oh, yeah, we were working on the jukebox stuff last time we played. Why is it blinking red? That's weird. I don't know why that's blinking red. We got an ability point. Let's see. I only have one ability point though. Okay. We'll save that. Yeah, we're in Central Executive. Okay. Oh, this guy right here. Sector elevator. Perfect.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there, reaching for her, trying to make her act. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Investigation sector, huh? We should check this out.
Okay. You know what? I've had enough people ask me that, Azumi K. Thank you for the 21-month sub. I think what we'll do is as soon as I'm done with this Control DLC, before we play Crusader Kings, I'm going to flip over and make a New World Thoughts video. So, I mean, so many people have asked me about New World. We're gonna make a thoughts video on that after this. Yeah. Do I know the reference to Alan Wake? I do. What happened to the subtitles? I was wondering the same thing. I think subtitles are on. Yeah, subtitles are definitely on. Let's rewatch that though. I think we can rewatch that. Oh, let's clear all this stuff out. It was Hotline.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there. A presence. Jesse Faden could hear it. A call. It was faint, reaching for her from a dark place. Faden was sensitive to visitations. She had them all the time. From her guiding star and the previous director. She was the perfect receiver. As if she'd been made for this. Faden paused to feel it. The force at play here.
Types like an old man.
It was changing things around her, subtle, trying to make her act. Faden didn't like that. Her guide felt it too. Polaris didn't flare up in defense as with the hiss, so it wasn't all bad. Not a hostile transmission. It was powerful, but it was coming from far away, and made weak because of the distance. It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man, a man desperate to escape. She sensed something else too. A hunger in the dark, not unlike the hostile resonance, waiting. She knew that desperate acts can have grim consequences. It was this, more than the man's despair, that made her follow the call. The elevator lights winked back on. The darkness receded like a memory. There was a new button on the elevator control panel. Investigation sector. Faden pressed the button. The elevator doors slid shut with practiced bravado.
Like the writing. Hey, Bourbon Steve. Okay, middle mouse button is that. There's my dash. What is my pick up and grab things button? Gotta get all my stuff back down. Launch is E. Okay, F is use and switch weapon. Melee is V. Great. Okay.
Hello? Anyone here?
Sound seems a bit low. Oh. Nice.
Not.
Right there. How's that? Missing agents. Mr. Kirkland, here the latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. Letter of condolences will be delivered to you signed prior to sending them to their families. You'll be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. Ned, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Hey, Mitch.
Seems a lot more crowded than the rest of the bureau.
Darling investigation. For authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigations blank was launched into ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous blank regarding inhumane treatment of a blank currently housed in the bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of blank sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such blank contained there. One blank confirmed the blank's code name to be blank, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the blank research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. We do recommend an investigation into blank research. Casey inquiry. Mr. Dennis. Denise? A request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all of our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author Alan Wake. For the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with a writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into. But what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. Whoa. Okay. Got a power thing here. Man, a lot of lore to start this off, huh? Miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Caucasian male, 33-year-old, found dead on his property per police report. Remains obtained from coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Blunt force injuries in the head. Blunt force injury in extremities. Dislocation of right knee. Complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus. Extensive trauma in the abdominal region. Complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestines, all missing from the scene. The removal of organs is consistent with an animal attack. Okay. Resignation letter? You may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of the investigations of the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's blank. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame the situation on our blank, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming parts of the investigation sector lost to the blank loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that fire break. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The blank has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Kirkland. Whoa. So yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filling the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in that sector has been an ordeal. Another thing that is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It's better not be still sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Fire break is that way. Sector head office is this way. Is there anything else here to get? We can go up there. Cauldron Lake update. It happened again. Third time this year. Something certainly has it out for blank. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough. But why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of reoccurring problems is the staff at Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on blank lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with investigation agents. It's only a matter of time before this blank hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Estevez. Dr. Rhea Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDA since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. Okay. The investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Ooh. Finally, some loot. Kirkland, I'm growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. Wow. That's a thing. I know you want this to be true, but you are the head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They're better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You're both failures plotting against me. You are traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You're choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Oh. Hey. Cherubel XX with a $10 tip from earlier. Thank you, and we may need to check that out at some point. Insanity, no, but that would have been funny. Boop. For authorization for Mr. Kirkland, blank was launched into the blank of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in blank witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive blank when blank with other staff has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable blank between Director Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the blank kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's blank as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. Investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any blank and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Ethics investigation. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation blank was launched into the legality of the prime candidate program blank by the FBC. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic blank and blank. Blank were brought into the oldest house and placed under blank examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic blank of paranaturally inclined blank. Not only is this a breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human blank. This investigation team unequivocally blank the prime candidate program and recommend that it be blanked immediately. Fair. I agree with that one. I mean, it's only fair. Burrow tractor. Frank Elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses or growls and unmanned locomotion, considered highly aggressive and dangerous. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panic calls to federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item and responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrow only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. Wow.
Now that gate should open.
Bada boom. Is there anything else in there? We get everything? What about down here? Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you and try to keep a lid on the Grumman Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their record, it is possible they've switched teams like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case. That was just the adults, if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the picture when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. Overlapping circles with a dot in the middle. Persian passion. Oh, I know. Yeah. Thank you. The hiss manifests in human hosts in numerous ways. The most common and least intense form is seen in the many corrupted agents floating throughout the Bureau. The hiss agents have maintained their human appearance, undergoing no obvious physical transformation. The most notable distinction from an unaffected human is the fact that they levitate. These hiss have displayed no aggressive behavior. They only seemed interested in vocalizing the strange incantation ad infinitum. Perhaps these vessels are only meant to propagate the hiss corruption, like spores or Wi-Fi boosters? Or are they cocoons preparing to enter the next stage of evolution? When attacked, hiss agents disappear, perhaps entering a state of invisibility or undergoing a transformation into a purely resonant form. Research is ongoing. Kind of like how that VIP is still in my chat room. This research is not ongoing because he's down. All right, so let's keep going. Cool. Man, I had no idea this was going to be like such a lore dump. This is awesome. This is great.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
You think? You know, I'm no detective, but I think this is a sealed area. Maybe I shouldn't open it, but I don't know why I think that I'm no detective. Let's see. Lest organization. A group of individuals has operated outside the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called The Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, the connection to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed organization. And you VIPs are lucky today, man. I gotta do all this reading. You guys get to rampage through my chat room all willy-nilly. Oh. Oh, I have to do it like 3 times, right?
Do we know each other? This feels familiar. I can't seem to... I've forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake. Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane. There's nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role. A character. The protagonist I played in my old film. I'm a filmmaker. An auteur like yourself. We're working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration. You need a drink. Gib es.
Endless darkness. Nothing holds still.
But we're very close now. You've been riding. I found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Riding?
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something. It's my double. He's out there. I've seen him.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle him.
You've met him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that made sense.
That was Alan Wake, the writer who went missing in that AWE case I read about. What's he doing here? And Thomas Zane was with him. The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
Oh, that's the thing that was on the door. 2 concentric circles with a dot in the middle. This game is always so creepy. I love it, man. Wait, do I do it 3 times? But wait. Okay, hold on before we do that. Stop. Okay. A lot of times doing one thing will change something else somewhere else. Unlock a door or open one or... Okay.
Dr. Emil Hartman, devoured by hungry darkness. Dr. Emil Hartman was desperate. The Federal Bureau of Control had stolen his life's work. This was his last chance, his final experiment. What he'd been too scared to do before. Hartman dove into the lake, was taken, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Only an echo of him remained, fragmented impulses on autoplay, violent, bloodthirsty darkness in the driver's seat. Emerging from the lake, the thing was captured by the FBC, brought in, contained, studied. The thing broke loose, killed everyone it could. The FBC fell back and sealed the sector. The thing was alone in the dark, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. Not darkness, but similar enough. A sound.
Oh.
It shouldn't be a surprise. If there's one, why not another? The darkness inside the thing could have been immune, could have resisted, fought, could have been passed by, passed through with no effect. But it didn't, and it wasn't. Maybe it had grown weaker over time, not aged. It was timeless, but weaker with no link to its source. A metamorphosis followed. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change. Became the thing that had been Hartman. Broke loose. Killed everyone it could. Lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. A resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Sure were subtitles on those.